My stepmom demanded I pay $800 rent, so I evicted her, her two freeloader kids, and took back the 1.2 house my grandparents secretly left me. My dad married Linda when I was 16. She had two kids from her previous marriage, Kyle and Brittany, both in their early 20s. My mom passed away when I was 12, and honestly, I think my dad just didn't want to be alone anymore. Linda seemed nice at first, but that changed pretty fast. I lived with them through high school, then moved into my grandparents' old house when I turned 18. My grandma had died 2 years earlier, and my grandpa passed right after I graduated. The house was this beautiful 3-bedroom place in a nice neighborhood with a huge backyard. Grandpa told me before he died that I could stay there as long as I needed. He said something about the paperwork being handled, but I was 18 and stupid, so I didn't really ask questions. I just assumed my dad owned it now and was letting me live there. I got a job at a warehouse, started community college, and paid for my own groceries and utilities. Never asked my dad for money. Meanwhile, Linda's kids were both living at home rent-free. Kyle was 24 and worked part-time at a vape shop. Brittany was 22 and didn't work at all. They'd come over to my place sometimes and make comments about how lucky I was to have my own space. About 6 months ago, my dad had a heart attack. Nothing fatal, but scary enough that he had to take early retirement. Money got tight for them real fast. That's when Linda started texting me about helping out the family. At first it was small stuff, asking if I could chip in for dad's medications or help with groceries. I sent money when I could because I love my dad. But then Linda showed up at my door one Tuesday morning with Kyle and Brittany. She had this folder full of papers and sat down at my kitchen table like she owned the place. She told me that since money was tight, everyone needed to contribute fairly. Starting next month, I'd need to pay $800 rent to live in the house. I laughed because I thought she was joking, but Linda wasn't smiling. She said the house was a family asset and I was old enough to pay my share. Kyle and Brittany just sat there nodding like this made total sense. I told her I'd talk to my dad about it. She got this look on her face and said dad already agreed to it, that he was too stressed to deal with me being difficult. Something felt wrong, so I called my dad right there in front of them. He had no idea what I was talking about. Said he never agreed to me paying rent and didn't even know Linda was at my house. Linda's face went red. She snatched the phone from me and started yelling at my dad about how they needed money and I was living rent-free while her kids had no space. That's when I asked her a question I should have asked years ago. Who actually owns this house? Linda stuttered and said, your dad does, obviously. I pulled out my laptop and logged into the county property records website right there at the table. Took me 2 minutes to find it. The house wasn't in my dad's name, it was in mine. Had been since my grandpa died. He'd left it directly to me in his will, completely paid off. My dad knew, but I guess he never mentioned it because he didn't think it mattered. I turned the laptop around so Linda could see the screen. She went completely pale. I told her she had exactly zero authority to charge me rent in my own house. Then I looked at Kyle and Brittany and told them all 3 of them needed to leave. Linda tried to backtrack, saying she made a mistake and didn't realize, but I was done. Over the next few days, I found out Linda had been telling people in the family that my dad owned the house and was letting me live there out of pity. She'd been planning to move Kyle and Brittany in with me and charge us all rent to help with their bills. My dad was horrified when he found out. He'd kept quiet about the inheritance because he wanted me to feel like I earned my independence, not that it was handed to me, but Linda took advantage of that. 2 weeks later, Linda asked if Kyle could move into my spare bedroom since he got evicted from a friend's couch. I said no. She called me selfish and ungrateful after everything they'd done for me. I reminded her that everything they'd done for me was literally just tolerating my existence in their house for 2 years. I pulled the property deed, got it framed, and hung it in my living room. Every time Linda visits my dad now, she has to see it. Kyle and Brittany both still live at home. They're 25 and 23 now. My dad ended up refinancing his house to help with bills, but he never asked me for money again.